And I took a long time. We'll pray Maghrib, inshallah, right after we finish here. So one of my friends, you know what happened? His sister came home, and he said, you know, there's this boy on the way. This was in India, but not here. There's this boy, he's bugging me in my class, and he's always kind of trying to flirt with me and stuff like that. And so my friend, he's like 6'2", like, you know, big guy. He's like, come on, let's go. And the Indian thing was, you're going to go defend your sister's honor, right? You're going to go whack this guy, make him regret it, black and blue, right? You're going to leave him all bruised. So he goes to this guy, and there he's standing, and I literally remember like it was yesterday. He was like, yeah, is this your name? He's like, yeah. He said, yeah, my sister told me that you are always kind of saying these sweet nothings to her, and you're kind of doing this and that. He's like, oh, well, you know. He's like, no, don't worry. You can marry her. He said, I have 3 stepbrothers and sisters. She's one of them. Take her off my hands. Marry her. Marry her tomorrow. We'll make the arrangements. And the guy was like, but I'm too young to get married. And he said, but you're old enough to mock or to tease or to go, you know, harass a girl. That's kind of, you're old enough to do that, but you're too young to get married. No, you actually can, if there is a declared intent, literally in this room, if there are people that want to get married, you should be able to say, you know, of course, talk to your parents and all that. You should be able to say, our approach is this, you know, our approach is, you know, we go through the dates. You know, one day I was at Masjid, the Somali kind of mosque down south. You know, one of the questions I got is it halal to date? Is it halal to date? And my answer to her was, it is absolutely halal to date. You just have to get married first. Then you date it. Well, all we do, literally, you know what? All we do is we take this marriage part and we kind of move it somewhere up here. We have something called a courtship, okay, which is decent. It's decent. It's public, okay, and it is, you know, like it's kind of like what is it? Exclusive. Like you cannot actually court 3 people at the same time. You know that? You know, it's decent, it's public, it's exclusive, and you go through that process. Now, I know as a society we're not there yet, because somebody will still accuse you. You choose, as a young lady, choose not to date anybody. And then you choose to accept the courtship of someone that you're planning to marry, right? And then if that doesn't work out, then invariably, I mean, still there are certain parts of our society where, you know, that's a bad thing, right? But that's the most honorable thing. That is the most honorable thing to do. And for both guys and girls, that option does exist. When you're ready to get married, when you're a junior, when you're a senior, you're ready to get married, you tell your parents that Brother Alauddin came in your freshman year, kept you from Maghrib and a pizza, and he said this is perfectly okay in Islam. But it has to be public. It has to be declared. Like people have to know, okay, these two are kind of, you know, they're like in that process of courtship. That's how it has to go. It has to start with decency and it has to end with decency. And then you find out. And you know what? All of this test drive, you know, one of my colleagues, he once said to me, how could you marry a woman without sleeping with her? I don't even buy a car without test driving. And I said to him, if you equate your wife with a car, then I guess you deserve the woman you got. Right? Okay, he was a close friend of mine. I mean, this was private conversation, it's not a speech or anything like that. No more I say, Brother Alauddin said this to someone. Okay? So my point is that that's the process. People don't tell you these options exist. People don't tell you, yeah, you can. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. So people don't tell you these options. So the 4 things I told you. Number 1 is that Allah is the one who completes you. Not your husband, not your wife, not now, not tomorrow, not the girl in chemistry class, not the guy, you know, that you see down, you know, at the front desk. None of them. Allah is the one that completes you. You seek that from Allah. Allah will always complete you and protect you, no matter who you marry, and no matter when you marry. The second thing is your interaction is governed by 2 things, right? With the verse of the Quran that says anything that leads you. You know, somebody says, well, how do I know my courtship is halal? And I say to you, the barometer is if you feel uncomfortable, if anyone in your community or your society sees you in that situation, then that's your nuts telling you that you're doing something that's not right. Do you understand? If you feel uncomfortable, you have the barometer within yourself. So, you know, do not approach zina, do not do the things that go towards that, and do not, and try your best to never be alone in seclusion with someone. Try your best to have a third person there. Try your best to meet in a public place. Try your best to do those types of things. Number 3, move your marriage options. Don't think you'll get married. I'm telling you, I know all these friends who are doctors. They're like 30, 35 years old. They're now getting married. Yeah, they get the choice proposals in their communities and so on, in their mosques. Everybody wants their daughters to marry them or their sons to marry them. I get all that, but I'm telling you, some of them, they can't even find their glasses anymore. If your life expectancy is 70 years old, right? If your life expectancy is 7 years, did Allah intend for you to live more than 50% of it without a mate? Did He intend? If He intended for you to be without a mate, without a partner, without a spouse for 35 years, why would you become pubescent at 40? Why would you? Why would your Creator make you a full-blown male or a female at 14 and 15 and then say to you for 20 more years, you have to live and you have to satisfy yourself illegally or you have to have some other weird arrangement? Why? It's unnatural, right? So you think marriage and you think marriage early, and number 4, you think and you talk about and you become comfortable with the notion that Islam allows you to get to know someone. As a matter of fact, they're talking about consent today. You couldn't marry, 1400 years ago, you couldn't marry a woman unless that woman with her mouth said yes. You could not marry a woman unless she said yes 1400 years ago. You have that option of consent, but you have to be able, the courtship should be specific, it should be public, and it should be guided. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make our gathering here a gathering of the forgiven. Say Ameen. When we depart here, that we depart free of all blemishes and all shortcomings. Say Ameen. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to not deprive any one of you or us, anyone within us or among us from this blessing. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that just as He has gathered you all, you are truly, I don't know what to say to you. You're so much better than I am. You're so much better than I was when I was your age. We were in a Muslim country. I grew up in Kuwait. I went to memorize Quran. I went to learn tafsir. And I was living my life at that point trying to do things that were not right. Trying to hide from my parents. Yet most of you, your parents don't even know you're here today. And you choose to be here today. So stick with that, and stick with the MSA, and stick with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you and protect you and guide you and provide you with all that is good in this world and in the hereafter. Say Ameen, inshallah. Can we ask people to write questions down, then have you answer the ones you think are most important after Salah while people are eating for 15 minutes? Only if you can and want. Thank you. And if you want to, can you announce it at the end? Yes, yes, and yes. I can watch you all eat. Alright, so where are we praying? Here. Right here? Yeah. Alright, how are we praying right here?
Moving on.